Let's take you to Las Vegas. Court TV crime and justice correspondent Matt Johnson has the latest.
Julie, good morning. Today, defendant Robert Telles will be back on the stand for cross. Former elected official turned defendant took the stand during the 6th day of his murder trial. The courtroom in Las Vegas was packed and the jury leaned in as Robert Telles said in a soft tone he is innocent and is being framed for the murder of investigative journalist Jeff Gehrman. Gehrman's family seated in the gallery as Telles said he is not capable of murder.
Unequivocally, I'm innocent. I didn't kill Mr. Gehrman. When the medical examiner testified, that's the first time I'd learned how Mr. Gehrman was murdered. I think it's the way that he was murdered speaks to, I think, something or someone who knows what they're doing. The idea that Mr. Gehrman's throat was slashed and his heart was stabbed. I think that's. I don't know if anybody could just do that.
And at the end of his testimony, the jury will be allowed to ask questions. Julie?
Can't wait for this testimony. Our thanks to Matt Johnson for his report this morning. Now, let's talk some more about this case. I want to bring in my guests. Standing by, I have trial attorney C.K. Hoffler. She's also the former president of the National Bar Association. And want to welcome in Chief Chris Anderson, also retired from doing homicide detective work for many years. Boy, oh boy, is this case something else. All right, let's start, if we can, with what we saw that could be kind of confusing. I have to say, I got a lot of questions from friends saying, what's going on? What is this narrative? Why would his attorneys do that? And I was telling them, well, I can't know for sure. None of us can because we're not privy to the conversations with him and his attorneys. But C.K. Hoffler, tell me, does it seem to you like these good, honest attorneys did not want to suborn perjury if they knew he was going to lie? Would you kind of walk us through ethically the considerations lawyers have to go through in order to protect themselves, uphold their oath as an officer of the court, and also effectively represent their client?
Absolutely. Good morning, and loved your opening statement, by the way.
Oh, thank you, friend.
I have to tell you, this is probably their worst nightmare. For sure, the attorneys did not want him to take the stand. They probably did not want him to take the stand because they may have been privy to information that they thought that he might not be so truthful about. And I'm speculating. So if you are in that position, and of course you can't knowingly participate in any efforts to defraud the court, defraud the jurors. This is a court of justice. So the lawyers are ethically in a quagmire, in a bad position, because they don't want to participate knowingly in suborning perjury. And that's very, very significant because ethically, you can also be held to account for your actions as an attorney, as an officer of the court. And every jurisdiction treats this differently. So the lawyers, when you are hypothetically, you've got your client, you're defending your client criminally in a criminal case, or in a civil case for that matter, but in a criminal case in this instance, and your client is taking the stand, and there may be statements that you know based on the evidence in the case, based on what is in the case, based on what you've seen, is not truthful. And this is evident. This is testimony that's going to be taken under oath. You are in a very difficult position. There are some attorneys who have withdrawn from cases. They don't have to give an explanation for why they withdraw. And they take other actions to protect themselves, protect their license, because they cannot be a part of a client who is misleading the court and misleading the jury. Exactly. So that's the general tone of it. What lawyers do, they're doing to protect themselves, to protect their license, to protect themselves ethically, because they also have a duty to the court, and they have a duty not to be part of fraud. I mean, there are many lawyers that have been disbarred in many jurisdictions because they have not taken appropriate actions when they know that their client is engaging in a pattern of fraud and perhaps engaging in criminal behavior right there under oath.
Exactly,
So it's
CK.
very, very difficult ethically.
Exactly. Beautiful explanation. I'm sure you've probably lectured on this before other lawyers and, right, the ethical considerations. And as we renew our law licenses, every year we have to take classes to make sure that we are staying current with the rules. And something that has, never changed and will never change. If your client, as you said, tells you behind closed doors, yeah, I committed this murder, but I'm going to go lie about it on the stand. As a defense attorney, you cannot facilitate that happening. And so that may be stunning to viewers who haven't, I didn't learn this till law school. I was kind of shocked. I thought, oh, if it's private, it's private. But no, so CK, thank you so much for that. Let's get into what this guy is saying happened here. He's saying he's framed. He's saying that somebody's out to get him. Chief Anderson, I want to play a couple clips for you and then analyze this on the other side. Let's listen to where Robert Tellis starts talking to the jury about framing and that there must have been a professional hit job here.
Somebody framed me for this, and I believe it is Compass Realty, and I believe it's for the work that I've done against them. And this document here shows the start of the work that I began against them. You're going to hear much more about the things that I did and the things that they did. When the medical examiner testified, that's the first time I'd learned how Mr. Gurman was murdered. I think it's the way that he was murdered speaks to, I think, something or someone who knows what they're doing.
Okay, Chief Anderson, you've seen a lot of homicides throughout your career. What do you think of this theory that Mr. Tellis is putting forth?
As an investigator, I am always curious to see when a defendant gets up and tries to defend him or testify in a case like this. Him saying that this is a setup by a realty company, I don't know if it bodes well. His entire testimony probably didn't bode very well with the jury because, look, we all know that he's perfectly within his rights to testify in court, even though his lawyers may say, we don't want you to testify, or you probably shouldn't do that. He has a right to testify. Me listening to his entire testimony yesterday was extremely hard for me. And I'm in Alabama. When I teach classes, I teach courtroom testimony, and we always talk about the keep it simple method. Just keep it simple when you're testifying in court. But listening to his testimony for me in Alabama was extremely hard. And I got the opportunity to pause it and stop and maybe take a break and go get water after a few minutes. Imagine what that jury feels, and they are in that courtroom listening to him ramble on about certain topics that had nothing to do with the case itself. It was just extremely hard. I don't think he did any favors for himself by testifying.
Chief, you're exactly right. Matt Johnson said when he started, the jurors were really engaged. They were leaning forward. They had their pens or their notebooks, and they were writing things down and listening intently. And then by the end, Matt said many of them were staring up at the ceiling. Just looked like it was unbearable. And he's not done, right? I've got a clip for you, Chief. This is where he's talking about how he had a lot of time to think about his case.
I think about, all the things, like all the things wrong in this case. And you add on top of that the fact that I've been sitting in a cell for close to 2 years. So I've had a lot of time to think about a lot of these issues. So again, I think I'm going to point out some strange things about this case.
Okay, no, there's so foolish here. Chief, we know that the courts go to great lengths to protect defendants and to make sure they aren't prejudiced by jurors knowing that they've been incarcerated. And so he's there in his suit. And he's a lawyer, too, Chief. He's a lawyer. And he says all this. What did you think of him as he's saying this to? Was it a sympathy move?
I think it was a sympathy move. I mean, he's not only is he an attorney, but he's also a politician. So, maybe he thought by getting up on the stand and them seeing this other side of him versus what the prosecution has put forth, maybe he thought he can evoke some sort of sympathy from the jurors. But I don't think it worked very well. I've paid attention to this case. I've listened to some of the evidence that's been presented against him. I think he probably hurt himself much more than he helped himself after his testimony. And he has to do it again today. That's so bad. So, yeah, I think he's just,
you're right, Chief.
He's just burying himself with his testimony.
Oh, you were absolutely right. I want to sit in on one of your classes one day. That is awesome. And, we know that Robert Tellis may be a lawyer, but he is not a trial attorney. Our C.K. Hoffler can certainly spot a trial attorney, and after a couple seconds of him opening his mouth, you can tell he is not. C.K., Chief Anderson, stand by, please. I have more questions for you both. We got to hit our first break when we come back.